CEO of the Canadian Association of Movers, or CAM as it's often called. Nancy knows the moving business inside out. Before leading CAM, she worked as a moving consultant and she has traveled all over the world. So she truly understands what it takes to make a move go smoothly, no matter where you're headed. Today, she's going to share some really valuable insights into what seniors should know about moving in today's world, from choosing the right mover to making the whole experience a little easier and a little stressful. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Nancy Irvin. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, nice to be back. How are you?
Great to have you. Boy, is this the fourth year we have done this?
I think so. Fourth or fifth.
Yeah,
We've been doing it for a while now, that's for sure.
amazing. Well, and we've gotten wonderful reaction from it with people saying that they found it really helpful, learning about the information that you have on your website that's available to them and everything that CAM can do to help. So let's get right into the obvious first question. And that's all about researching a mover. Why should you research a mover before you choose them?
Mhm. Well, there's a couple of ways of doing that, and there's a couple of reasons why. And one is that our industry is deregulated. It has not got set rules for licensing or anything like that at all throughout the country, and so it's fair game for anybody. And during COVID in particular, which is why we started doing this program, was that seniors were getting scammed at a ridiculous rate, and it was through the moving these fake movers that existed. So it's really important now, especially with AI and a lot of almost everything being done online, is to make sure that you're dealing with a real mover, a real moving company, and you're getting a service that you're paying for and not getting surprised at the end with a bunch of additional charges.
So you're saying that it's possible for if I had a truck and a guy who could lift things with me, I could just start moving people and I wouldn't need any license or anything else to do that.
Correct.
So that's why people should make sure that they're dealing with somebody from CAM. So what does CAM do to make sure there aren't these midnight movers on the prowl?
And that's what we call them, that's for sure. Well, we certify our members. We have a very thorough check that we do with them, where we check that they have insurance, that they have WCB, because when the crew are in your house and something happens, you're responsible for it if they don't, have WCB and don't and
Yeah.
aren't covered for things. We check to make sure that they actually have a place, that they're in a physical location that you can get to if you need to see them in person. That's something that a lot of these fly-by-nights just work out of their basement of their house, or they have a mailbox at Shoppers Drug Mart or something like that. We even had one that used the parking lot address for a movie theater as their company. So you really need to just everybody's pretty much online. All of you folks are online, obviously. You're here. Just Google and see where 123
Okay.
Main Street is and see what it is.
Yeah.
But we visit them. Mind you, a lot of the times it's virtually because it's a big country, and but we go on a tour of their place. We see that they have uniforms and they have paperwork and all the procedures that we expect them to have to make sure that you have a safe move.
That's really interesting. Having a mover using the movies as a place for
Oh
their
yeah.
address. I think that was somebody must have had their tongue in their cheek when they did that. So Nancy, you mentioned scams and frauds. How are effective are those now? Should we be still concerned, or what's the outlook for this year?
Absolutely. We have seen a huge drop in moving scams to virtually almost none, which was lovely after 2022 when the CBC Marketplace episodes with the undercover mover so that we could unearth a moving scam that was going on that was
Yeah.
quite prominent. Uh,
They were great, by the way, and they're
yeah.
still, you can still see them on CBC Gem if people want to go back and
Oh, they're great.
see what they did. Yes,
You get to see me
CBC
cry.
Market. Yes.
Yes.
Well, for good reason,
Oh.
as I recall. Yes.
Oh yeah, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Some of the scam stories were just heartbreaking.
Yeah. But
But
this year,
our program is really making a difference,
yeah.
and people are checking to see if our mover.net has gone up big time, and we're thrilled with people checking in and finding out if their mover is legit. Having said that, it's been a few years now. Things have been quiet. So now we're starting to see a little bit of shenanigans, shall we call it, but
Yeah.
it's very limited. So again, it's more important that you just double check to make sure that you've got a legit mover.
Okay, so that leads me obviously into the next question. You say I should check out movers. What should I be looking for if I'm going to move? How do I know what's good and what's bad for my future moving my all my life somewhere else?
The beautiful thing is one of our members put this little reel together on what to look for when you're researching your mover. So why don't we play that now, Bill?
Okay, we'll play that now and we'll be back after you see this short video. Da-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. Hey, all right, here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, and we're back. That was really interesting, Nancy. In the video, they mentioned that the best thing you could do is contact Cam. So, what will they get when they contact Cam, besides the opportunity maybe to talk to you?
no. Well, we do a lot of things. Obviously, we have online directories where you can find movers in your neighborhood. You just have to put in your B2W, email or postal code address, and then it'll show you all the movers within 100 kilometers that are CAM members, so they've been certified as professional. So
Oh,
there's
good.
that. We also have on the homepage, if you scroll down to the bottom, a fabulous Moving Seniors Safely uh, link to just an absolute ton of information that we've amassed over the last 4 or 5 years on specific things for you, like, how do you work with your kids to figure out how you're going to do all of this? And how do I declutter? What do I have to do? What should I be looking for? Why movers are important, packing tips. There's all sorts of wonderful things there as well.
Wow.
And we also have checklists. So if you know you're going to be moving on July 8th, well, then you can put it July 8th in the checklist, hit enter, and it'll give you a work back from what you should be working
Excellent.
on now all the way to the day of the move. So that's
Oh,
kind of fun.
well, that sounds excellent because getting yourself organized in time to make a move, especially if you're downsizing, if you're moving from a house to an apartment or to a long-term senior's apartment, then you're going to have to downsize, and that's not as easy because you know what? These days our kids don't want to have all the stuff that we've held on to over the years, so we have to find some way to dispose of it or give it away or give it to charity. And doing that ahead of time is the only way to do it properly, I would think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember after my mom passed, dad had already passed, and my brother and I, 3 days afterwards, were sitting in the garage on folding chairs, just looking around and going, why? Why is
yeah,
all this stuff still here? Yeah, it's a lot. It's so hard to deal with it all. Like so it's
exactly.
so
Yeah,
it's yeah, it's planning ahead is for sure.
yeah, yeah. Even though it was mentioned in the video, I think it's worthwhile just talking about the red flags that people should really look for when they're looking for a mover. What should make you suspicious?
The number one thing, of course, is do they have a physical address? If they're working out of a house, chances are that it's they don't have trucks, equipment, they'll go and rent stuff and they won't have tools or anything, or the floor runners that need to be put down in your floors in your home, or the blankets that they pad things with. So that's the main thing, the physical address. If they're only using Bill or Nancy, first names only, that's usually a trigger. I mean, I usually just say, hey, I'm Nancy, because nobody remembers anybody's last name. I'm the worst one for that myself. But when you're working with a company, if they only refer to themselves as their first name, then how do you know, like, that that's actually maybe even their first name? That might just be
Right?
a
Yeah.
name that somebody's using.
Mhm.
So that's another thing. Also, cash. If they want cash only, yes, it's cheaper, but you can't track any kind of payments if you're paying by cash.
Right.
And it's so easy for them to take the cash deposit, load all the stuff into their truck, and leave. And then you've got nothing.
Wow.
You've got nothing. So
Yeah.
that's the big thing. And lastly, I'm going to say that two things really. They don't put their promises in writing. You need to have everything in writing, and you need to keep it until your move is done. Complete, you're happy, everything's done. Every email, keep everything. It's really important. And also, if they're not willing to confirm that the shipping size is what it is, like they're going to say, so what are you moving? Well, I'm moving a kitchen and a bedroom. Okay, so we're going to say it's this and this, and they're going to lock you in. And then the scam works that they come in and they go, oh, you have way more stuff than we thought. We're going to have to charge you another $10,000. That's legit. That really happens. So it's really important to make sure that your moving company checks. It's so easy because all you have to do is go online like we're doing right now if they
Yeah.
can't physically come out to your house. But there's more and more moving companies getting back into coming and visiting, which was always my favorite thing to do, was always to go in and visit people. So
Good.
that's it.
So we've talked about the movers. What about let's talk about the process. And the first question, we've talked about moving consultants and movers. Why would you hire a mover? Why wouldn't you just get your family and friends to help you to move? And why do you need a consultant to help you do it? What would they do
Mhm.
for you?
So movers, the easy way to figure it out is it's just gonna stop the family battles, and you're not gonna injure somebody just to have somebody do the move for you. So the easiest way to remember this is the mover does the day of stuff and potentially the packing and unpacking, and the move coordinator, which we have several on our docket, I guess our team, senior move managers, they're called. They'll come in and work with you right from the beginning. So they'll do the decluttering. They'll talk to you about, what are you comfortable with? Do you want to be in a home? Would you rather stay in your house? Can we change the way your house looks and get rid of some of the furniture that we'll get a mover to help us with,
Right.
so that you've got more room. You can have, you can become the Golden Girls and have a couple of your friends move in, that kind of thing. So they'll work with you through the whole process. The mover moves you. The mover puts everything into the house. We do not, as movers, unpack and sort things. That's where the move coordinator, senior move manager comes back in and does, like, puts everything back in the closet and sets up your house just like you had it previously. So it's important that you look at getting some help, and that's why doing research early will give you an idea of a price tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. Um, So other than that, in terms of preparing for the move, how do you work with the mover to make sure all your questions are answered, to make sure you're getting help right from the beginning to the end?
Well, the main thing is to establish contact with the mover, read, watch the short videos that we have on our website in the seniors moving seniors safely section. Read up on the advice that the mover has on their website. There are thousands of YouTube videos, thousands, where you can just look up anything. And now with AI, which is great.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a senior. I am moving from Halifax to Vancouver to be with my children. Nobody's helping me. What do I do? And then, AI can give you a whole bunch of information. Just don't put in your personal details. That's the main thing. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you can get all sorts of information. But the moving company will help you. They'll help you understand just the whole process, like especially if you're moving into a seniors care facility or something like that, because they do that all the time. So they know exactly what that particular place is going to be requiring in terms of what you're allowed to take and what you're not. So they will work with you.
Mhm.
And that's great. The detailed stuff, you might want to get one of the senior move managers involved. And a lot of the moving companies have connections with those men and ladies that
Right.
can help
Yeah.
them as well.
Yeah, they do. And I can tell you for those of our viewers who are in Nova Scotia, the Serving Seniors Alliance, which Nancy used to be a member of when she
Yeah.
was a moving consultant, has some good people to recommend who are trusted, reliable, and just like the CAM members have been checked out to make sure that they're going to give you the service that you need.
Yeah.
So uh, ask around. You'll find in your community, I'm sure there are people that are qualified and as senior movers, not just as moving consultants, but as people
Mhm.
who are experienced and qualified to move seniors. Can that because that can be a whole different world.
Oh, it is. Yes, that's
Well,
for sure.
before we wind up, is there anything else that you think that they should know about either the movers or the senior coordinators? Have we
I think,
missed anything?
well, no, other than just to reiterate, the difference between us and your Kijiji mover is that we care and we want to make sure that you have a great move. We know that in most cases, you've lived in this home for 40, 50 years sometimes. And you're moving, most people move because they have to, not because they want to. And it's always a stressful situation. It gets to be so much on your head, like so confusing and just so many details and so many different things going on that's why the mover is very helpful and the move coordinator as well. So I honestly start early, talk to your family about what if, like years ahead of time if you can. Like start talking about it and start please start getting rid of stuff that you don't need. Okay? Because, like, if you're not doing yard work and you're not mowing the lawn anymore, get rid of some of the stuff out of the garage. It
Yeah.
will save your children a ton of headaches trying to figure out what to
Um,
do with it.
and they probably don't want it now. So
Nope.
find some needy place again. Whether there are all kinds of opportunities for immigrant associations who are looking to set up families in empty apartments and empty houses, and church groups who are helping families, local social service organizations. All kinds of people are there who will help take those things off your hand that aren't worth trying to. If you have really valuable furniture or something, sure, you can try to sell it, but you need to do that ahead of time too, because that could be a long, painful process that you need help with too.
Yeah, and we have two charities that we work with, shelter movers, who are well established in Nova Scotia as well as across
Yes.
the country, that
Yeah.
work with provide free moves to families that need to get out of abusive situations
Right.
today.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they're always looking for things. And we also work with Move for Hunger, which
Oh.
provides, we collect all your food and then we take it to the local food bank. So
Ah.
That's a really good thing as well. So
Excellent. So there
yeah,
are, you just have to ask to know,
yes,
get in touch with Nancy and CAM, the Canadian Association of Movers, and all this information is available to be repeated for you. Well, thank you so much, Nancy, for
my
sharing your
pleasure.
time and expertise with us today. You've given us some great insights and practical tips that I know will really help our members and viewers feel more confident about planning their move. And thanks to everyone who joined us for this session. We hope you found it helpful and informative. Keep an eye on your email and the CARP website, CARP, www.carpnovascotia.ca for details about our upcoming webinars. And remember, all of our webinars are recorded and will be on our website for you to review and refer to your family and friends. And if you're not already a member of CARP Nova Scotia, go to the website, join today. For only $20 a year, you can support these webinars, be invited to in-person meetings, and help us continue our advocacy. So until next time, I'm Bill Van Gorder for CARP Nova Scotia. Take care, be safe, and stay connected. And now, for those of you who are still with us, Nancy and I are going to stay online and answer your questions that you may have. We'd ask you to put them in the chat. It's easier than having them try to come in out loud, and then I will transfer them on to Nancy and will answer any questions that you have coming out of this webinar. Here we go. All right, Nancy, I've checked the chat and we have a number of questions that people would like to ask you. The first was, what was the name of the Nova Scotia organization that you said would provide good reference for local senior move coordinators?
Uh, One thing that you can check for sure is the Professional Organizers in Canada website. And I'm giving you all of those websites so that you can put them into the communication when you send it out. Uh,
Okay.
they're not, and then there's also the National Association of Senior Move Managers. And so there's two different groups. The organizers will be able to probably do a lot of the work that the move managers, senior move managers would be able to do. But they'll be definitely able to help you out with just getting started and helping you kind of get on your way to what you need to accomplish, this mountain you need to climb.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. How much does it cost to hire a seniors move manager?
Now that's a good question because I don't actually know. And if you ask me how much a move costs, I haven't got a clue. In my role with the trade association, I'm not allowed to know prices because of competition and all of that. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. However, I would imagine that there's a range, and it would be very similar to if you're looking for a mover. You might want to check around with a couple of different organizers, senior move managers, to see what they would charge. Because it all depends again on your, you know, what your move is going to involve.
Yeah, there's quite a range actually, and I did check with some local move managers here, and it seems to range depending on how much help you need, between 50 and $150 an hour. But well spent to get the
Oh,
services.
sure.
And the more services you need, the higher the cost. But when you think of pain and worry and problems that this takes over from the people who are moving and their family. It's as they all say, cheap at half the price.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I did Google because that's the only way I can find out anything. And I came up with very similar pricing that the average was 50 to $100. So yeah, we're not far off there, Bill. Yeah.
No, and I think the important thing for our viewers, I know many of the people watching have not moved for maybe 40, 50 years,
Yeah.
and it's not an inexpensive thing to do, and don't expect to do it on the cheap because you get what you pay for, and if you
Yep.
don't pay what qualified people need either to actually move you or to help you move, then you're not going to get the kind of services you're going to be happy with in the long run.
100%. You're absolutely correct.
So the next question kind of follows on.
Mm.
How do I find an honest mover for my parents when I live in another province?
That's where we come in. It's free. There's no obligation, but we can at least get you started with a few places to start. So if on our website, it's Find a Mover. So again, that's going to be in the email link. It's mover.net/find a mover. There's a whole bunch of hyphens and periods and all that stuff. So just wait for the link to come through or just Google. You can see the mover.net on my here.
Yeah.
And then you'll see it's on every page. Find a mover. And what you do is you just put in the postal code. So if they're in Ontario and 7W1B7, then you just put that in and it'll give you all the movers within 100 kilometers that have been certified as professional movers who follow code of ethics and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And you would still suggest that this person contact two or three of them and get a
Yes.
number of quotes and prices, even from those who are,
Yeah.
you can trust.
And absolutely. And we also, you can also just email in or call in to get some, because we can give you different van lines so that you're not getting necessarily the same breakdown in pricing. It might be set up differently. Or if we know that it's a specific situation, there might be movers that might be better for that than others. So it's a good resource. Everybody uses it. It's our number one page every month.
Very
Yeah.
good. So if the follow-up question someone else has asked, and it's very appropriate, I think, is how do I know I'm getting a fair price?
Mhm. Yeah. And a couple of years ago, we had lots and lots of conversations about that, didn't we, Bill?
We did.
Um, Again, it's get at least three quotes and get them from different sources. One of the things that I've mentioned before is I knew of a few circumstances where a mover would say, "Oh yeah, I'll get you other quotes for you, so save you the time." And of course, they just made up numbers and changed the names of the companies, and it was the same format and everything. So that's not going to work. So you want to get three different movers. Now, if you go on the mover, find a mover on our thing, you can click and ask for them to reach out to you. You can click three different people, or again, you can get in touch with us. I'm also going to give you a link with Bill about its information about the kinds of things you want to look for when you're getting an estimate. And it's quite lengthy, but it covers a lot. So it'll be very helpful. But if you're getting prices and they're all basically around the same, let's say $6,000 or something, and then you get one that's $3,000, that's
Watch out.
it's one thing is not like the others, and you'll end up, yeah, it might be legit, honestly, but it probably isn't. So it's better to look at the other ones. Now I freaked everybody out with the $6,000 thing.
No, it's that's I don't
Yeah,
think so. I think
yeah,
that's the honest thing
depending.
to say and what people have to
Yep.
realize, and
Yeah.
you've got to take the time. And I know on that outline you're going to give them of questions. There are a lot of questions, but those are the ones you've got to ask. And if you want the best move for you, you've got to ask those questions so you get the kinds of answers or the kind of information that you're looking for.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah,
the thing is that a long distance move, if you're going to be moving out to Vancouver to be near your kids, obviously that's going to be more expensive than if you're moving from Halifax to Cape Breton,
right. Yeah,
so it's,
yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
The final question was during our previous talk, you mentioned insurance. So
Mm.
what do I ask about insurance? This person says.
So, I mean, moving companies have trailer insurance and like you would have car insurance and they have you want to make sure they have cargo insurance. But it's things, what if something gets damaged? What if you are walking down the stairs and you slip and my dresser goes into the wall? How does that dent get fixed? Or hole get
Yeah.
fixed in my wall. Like, who's responsible? How does that work? What if my floor gets scratched? That kind of thing. Because as you're moving out, that's not your house anymore in
Right.
most cases. So
Yeah.
you've got to make sure that it's in good shape. Or, what if a box goes missing? Or what if something happens to something and it gets broken? Like what can I do about that? Can I do anything about that? Or what are you going to do about it? That kind of thing. Um, and I mean, these are two honest situations that happen. What if the trailer gets in an accident, rolls over, catches on fire, and everything is gone? What you, that's everything I own. What happens? How long is, and I mean, that's an extreme case, but it's happened. And we've got one on right now. There was a hole in the trailer. It poured rain for days.
Mhm.
As they went across the country, they kept hitting the same storm. And there was a hole and it got wet. The stuff got wet. So what happens? Those are the
Yeah.
kinds of things that you're looking to find out. Now, it sounds very doomsday. Moving is never perfect. It's done by humans. And, something you can look at it like, oh, I've got a war wound. This is from my move from Halifax and this is from my move from wherever. You can look at it that way. But if it's serious damage, obviously you want to have things repaired, especially if, with seniors, it's things that we've owned for 40 or 50 or 60 years that we want to continue to be able to function within.
So
So,
those are the
yeah.
things that the company, you want to make sure the company has insurance that'll cover that kind of occurrence.
And well, yeah, and we don't sell insurance, so it gets complicated because we don't use that I word. We're not allowed to use it because we don't sell insurance. We have coverage that helps take care of things, and it's best probably to talk to your mover. Don't wait until you've signed on the dotted line. Make sure you find out beforehand, okay, what do I need to know and what do I need to do in order to make sure that if something goes wrong, my I'm compensated for it or I'm looked after, right? So,
Okay,
yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all our questions that we had. Do you
Uh,
want to
I got
add
off easy.
anything before we close out here?
It's just the same messaging that we keep talking about. Start early if you can. Get help. Get help. I can't
Good, good.
reiterate that enough.
Yeah, yeah,
And do your research. And that's what mover.net is all about. And just, you know, the sooner you can get at it, the less stress, hopefully, for you. It doesn't
very
have to
good.
be horrible, that's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much. And I'll
My
remind
pleasure.
everybody if you were registered for this webinar, you'll be getting all this information in an email that we're going to send out. It'll also be tacked on to the end of this video, so you'll be able to see it. And if you don't get it that way or need more information, feel free to email Nancy at mover.net or me at vangorder@carp.ca, and we'll be glad to send them to you. Thanks again, Nancy, very
My
much.
pleasure. Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you.